You're welcome to my channel. This video is actually a sequel to a previous video I made that speaks essentially on all that you have to know about a Bartholin cyst. So I promised in that video that I was actually going to make a video and share with you options and things that you can try at home to relieve yourself or anyone you know that is suffering from this, from the monster called Bartholin abscess. So I'm going to jump right into that. There are medical solutions that is available for you, although I am not a medical doctor, so I would not be actually prescribing anything for you medically. I will just be telling you things that have that the medical suggestion or options that you have to treat yourself. So number one is actually the use of antibiotics. Most gynecologists will prescribe antibiotics for you if you have a Bartholin cyst. I would want to say this, that if your cyst is actually not giving you any form of pain, and if the size is not too large or annoyingly large, your gynecologist might just tell you to watch it and just give it time, and then if there's any discomfort you can then go to the emergency or you call your doctor, and then they would actually help you. So most times when a patient comes with a Bartholin cyst that's even not painful or whatever, they still prescribe antibiotics to the patient just so that it would avoid it will clear any form of infection that is there, and also prevent any form of infection so that the cyst does not abscess. And aside that, they also prescribe painkillers to relieve the pain if you are already feeling some kind of pain or discomfort there. They also prescribe to you vitamin C just to boost your immune system and all. Another thing that doctors also prescribe or they will tell you to do is a mini surgery that you don't have to be hospitalized for it, although it's actually done in a theater also, is draining. They would actually cut up the cyst, drain the gland, drain out the fluids. Sometimes if the fluid is not infected, it comes out as a clear fluid, or maybe sometimes yellow and clear, and not like a plus, just like a liquid water. It comes out like that, and then they clean you up, they ensure they drain everything, and then they sew it up. But the disadvantage of this is that if this does not open the gland, so there's still probability that the fluid will still accumulate, and at the end of the day you will still have a Bartholin cyst again. So in order to avoid the reoccurrence, medically they would have to, after cutting up the gland, they fix in what is called a word catheter, just like I will be showing you, as you can see in this video. So what they do is that they open up that they open up the cyst, they ensure they drain all the fluid. After draining the fluid, the word catheter will be inserted. I don't have to go into the insertion process. It will be inserted, and then the end of the word catheter, that particular tube, you can see that it's just a little big, will be inserted into the vagina so that it does not give you discomfort when you walk. So that is just what a word catheter is, and then it helps to continually drain out the fluid so that the cyst does not form again. And then in about an average of 4 weeks to 6 weeks, you go back, and then the word catheter will be removed, and hopefully that particular hole through which the word catheter was inserted into, the word catheter is not that big anyway, has been inserted into the gland, is expected to form probably a permanent hole that will now serve as a duct that leads to the gland, and then from there the fluid can keep draining, and then you can boycott the clogged ducts. That is another procedure. And although some women have actually said after doing this they still have their Bartholin cyst, some on that same part where they used to have the word catheter, or some on the other side of the vaginal opening that was actually not affected before. And then another solution is what we call Marsurpialization. I hope that I pronounced that correctly, but hopefully I believe it's correct. So this is actually similar to the word catheter, only to the word catheter, but the Only difference is that a word catheter is not used. So what this one is about is like you can see in the picture, the gland will be opened, it will be drained. There's one CO2 whatever that will be done just to ensure that it is totally drained, and then the surgeon is going to sew up the gland with the flesh that covers the gland. You can see the way the two layers are being held together and then sewed. The inner one is actually the Bartholin gland. The outer one is that is in B, picture B. The outer one is the vaginal wall, that is the skin on the vulva, that part here. It's being sewn together. It's actually big here, but it is usually not this big when the surgery is being done. It is just big here so that for picture purposes. And you can see in A, the gland, that's the vaginal wall that has been cut, and then what you are looking on with that incision sign is incision line is the gland that was opened. So when that gland is opened, it's the fluid will be drained, and then it will be sewn up to the flesh covering in such manner. When it heals up, there is actually an opening that goes into the gland that helps the cyst to drain. Having said this, as the medical solution that is available, and not the last one, actually, before I say what I want to say, the last one is the total removal of the Bartholin gland, in which, like you can see, it is opened and then the total gland is removed. This is usually the last option, I think, especially for women that are in their reproductive age, because without the Bartholin gland, you know that having sex will become a tug of war, and also there will be room for infection, because the vaginal wetness is actually what lubricates the vagina and keeps the atmosphere and all. So once the gland or the glands are removed, you know that you are calling for something else. So it is usually no advice, but for a woman that is actually in a menopause or whatever, they could actually take out the gland if it's causing her any problem. Very rare cases, or if the woman thinks the pain is too much and then she would rather go for that, then fine. I would want to say this, that when you, as a woman, not every lump that you feel in your vagina is actually a Bartholin cyst, because there are so many cysts that happens in the vagina. I don't want to go into that. If you really want me to talk about that, you can just let me know in the comment section, then I could maybe make some other videos to talk about some other kinds of vaginal cysts aside Bartholin cyst. That is one. Not every cyst in the vagina is a Bartholin cyst. And then secondly, it is not every lump that you feel that is a cyst. A lump could be a form of tumor that could be benign or malignant. So I would suggest, and I strongly suggest, that you get a diagnosis and you are sure and confident that what you are dealing with is actually a Bartholin cyst and not something else. You know that it is not every tumor, like I said before, that is it's not every lump that is a cyst. So if you have one that is strange and you are not sure, please get a diagnosis. You can then tell your doctor or decide within yourself the kind of treatments that you want. Although its medical treatment is still, of course, the most advisable, but if you want to try at home remedies, you can then decide to try at home remedy. At least you are now sure that what you're actually treating is what it is. I think that is my major advice for now. And then for at home remedies, let me start by talking about what is very, very common and is medically advised to, which is Sitz baits, in which you get a bowl that can fit. I think there are particular bowls that are made for this purpose. If I can find a picture of one, I'm going to put it here. This bowl, you just put it will fit into your toilet seat. Then you put warm water or hot water as much as you can endure, something that you can sit on, and then you can still endure the steam coming from it. Then you had you had salt, and then you had tea tree oil. That's a picture of a tea tree oil. You had about 8 drops of it, and then you sit on it, and then you allow the steam to get into your vagina to actually gets into your vagina, and then particularly on the cyst. This helps the cyst to come to a head. I mean, when I say come to a head, when there is a boil, you know, sometimes when it starts, there's really no space or anywhere showing that it's going to pop anytime soon. It comes to a head when you can see that particular tiny dot that has the pus in it, and then you can actually punch it, or it can burst from there. But for Bartholin cyst, I don't advise that to punch it yourself anyway. So once it comes to a head, you can then apply something else that is called like Pride. I think that's what it is. That's how it is pronounced. I'm not too sure, but that's what it looks like to me. It is called Pride. Unfortunately, I have never seen this product here in Nigeria, but I am certain that you can get it on Amazon. So you just take this and put on it. For us in Nigeria, we use shea butter a lot for things like that. I am not too sure if shea butter can suffice for this anyway. So you just put it, you keep rubbing it in 2 or 3 times. I said 3 to 4 times a day. As soon as you're done with the cyst bait, you just put it there, keep put it there. All this, what this helps to do is just that it brings it to a head, and then it helps it to burst. Sometimes Bartholin abscess bursts overnight. You just wake up, you see that the pus and everything is either on your undies or on your nightie. So that is Pride. That's the picture of it that I shared with you. And then another thing is apple cider vinegar that is actually common here. Apple cider vinegar is, as you know, it is strong. It is never advisable that to apply directly on the cyst or on the abscess. What you do is you put in like half cup of warm water, then you can put a teaspoon of apple vinegar in it, mix it together, then you use a cotton wool you touch it with a cotton wool, and then you apply it there. Or you use a clean towel. Please, if you also use a cotton wool, ensure whatever you're putting there is clean, because if you remember, the more infection, the more trouble. So you get a very soft towel, you put it in a warm water that has the apple cider vinegar in it, and then you use it to compress and to press the abscess. It's painful actually, but what has to be done has to be done. So you put it there, and then that helps it to come to a head, and then for it to burst. Lastly, I will be talking about the Phoebe's cure. For this Phoebe's cure, there are 3 ingredients that you use. There is one that is called the witch hazel. We have the tea tree oil that we once mentioned when you are having a cyst bait, that you also use for a cyst bait, the tea tree oil, and then we have the calamine lotion. Calamine lotion, as you can see the picture, is common in Nigeria. You can get it in virtually any pharmacy. It is used to clear rash. And then the tea tree oil is usually used for facial whatever treatment or something, and then I think the witch hazel too is used for that. So what you do is that you get a clean small bowl, you add about a full adult spoon of the witch hazel, you add a teaspoon of your calamine lotion, and then you add 10 to 12 drops of the 10 to 12 drops of the tea tree oil. You mix it together properly. The consistency would actually be determined by the consistency of your calamine lotion, and then you put this, you just use, probably I would suggest you use a panty liner to clear up the mixture, and then you try as much as possible to fix that particular mixture where it is on the panty liner onto the cyst, just inside, and then you wear your undies to keep it intact. You can keep it there for about an hour. Then when you take it out, you can then just switch to some other treatment. For instance, you can be done with the Phoebe's cure now, and then you go directly to do a cyst bait, and then after cyst bait you apply Pride, and then you wait till maybe till afternoon, you do that, night you do that, and then you keep doing that until it comes to a head, and hopefully I pray it bursts quickly. that is the home remedy that I'm going to share with you. If there's any form of home remedy that you also know that has worked for you, or that you have seen people testify about, please, you can make comments. You can just share with us in the comment section. But I would like to also urge us not to come to the comment section to start prescribing drugs. Even if you're a doctor, please don't do that, please. So it's not advisable, because people take such information and then they might eventually go and injure themselves. So please don't do that. But if there's any at-home remedy that you know, fine, you can feel free to share that with us. That is totally accepted. And also, personally, I've had a Bartholin cyst at a point, but when I had it, I was going through a lot of health issues at that time, and my hormone was actually not in a good place. So I actually knew that was what caused it. And when I had it, in fact, I thought it was going to be a boil, but when I felt it, and then it didn't start, I didn't start having the pain as if it was the boil. So the pain just comes faintly, and I feel, so when I touched it the first time, it was just a small lump. I was like, normal. Like, you know, I explained before that female, sometimes we feel that and then it goes away, but this did not go away. And about the second day when I touched it, I discovered that it has gotten bigger, and then it occurred to me that, oh, this is actually a Bartholin cyst. So I didn't know. I had to rush to go and do a cyst base immediately. When I did that, I was tense, I was scared, because I was like, oh God, I didn't want this thing to be abscessed or that, because I was actually not even in a good place, and my hygiene was, I can't even clean myself properly at that time. I was not in a good place. I was like, God, why would I add this to it? This might look cliche, but I'm a Christian and God has been good to me, so I cannot take away the fact that is actually the one that I can actually run to at that time, because I had a lot of issues. So when I discovered that, I rushed to do a cyst base, and the second day I started bleeding. I thought I was, maybe, I started bleeding, but then it happens to be my period, and my period was actually not supposed to come at that time. That was when I started thinking, why would you do a cyst base at this time? Because like I told you, I had some health issues I was dealing with, and having a cyst base at that time is actually maybe similar, something like a suicide mission. I was actually not supposed to do that. It was a very great risk, and I did it twice. So I was like, Otoye, why would you do this? At that point, I just said, okay, it's only God that can help me. One, I now have my period. Although the cyst was not painful, but I was actually scared, because I was actually not in a good place at that time, and having a Bartholin abscess at that time might even send me into depression, because I would not know how to deal with it. So I just went on my knees. I think I had a fast that day, and I had a fast and was like, God, please just save me from this. There's no way I can even treat myself. All these options, I can't use them at this time. Please help me. And after my period, the thing was that I just left it alone, because obviously I can't do a cyst base. I can't there was no infection, so there was actually no reason to use antibiotics and all that. So but I think a week after, which it was about 10 days now, it was there for almost 10 days, yeah. So the thing actually drained on its own. I just woke up at night, I saw my nights and all that. The thing drained everything. I think mine, like I said, was because of hormonal issues, and then when my hormone was able to regulate itself, the doctor actually opened up, and then everything drained out. So if you peradventure have a cyst, please don't be like me. Don't be too scared, don't be too anxious. Sit down and think. You now have good information at hand on how to handle it, and you can then pick up the next step to do. Like I always advise, ensure you get a diagnosis. Please subscribe to my channel. Like I always say, subscription is free. You are not going to pay a dime. Just click on it. Click on the notification bell, so that you can get more videos as they come, and then you can enjoy this together. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you think I've done well. I believe I've done well, so give me a thumbs up, and I'm giving it a thumbs up myself. So remember that I love you, and when I say I love you deeply from my heart. I love you truly. So take care of yourself, take good care of yourself, and treat yourself better this week. Put yourself first. It's not a selfish thing to do, actually. Try it this week. Put yourself first. Treat yourself better. And have a great day. Have a great week. Bye-bye.